Alright, welcome back. We had some technical difficulties, but we're going to finish up our review of Plasma Storm. I think we were talking about Plasma Klinklang as we left off. I guess, Pram, you were talking about it, and then we got cut off, so you just want to repeat what you were saying?
Sure. Klinklang's really good. You just have to, you can't play it exactly like you would be playing it now. That wouldn't make any sense. You really have to, revamp on how it works because Klinklang only covers the metal type. So you would have to run things like Cobalion EX, maybe just go aggro Klinklang. But I'm sure there's ways to do it. I think it's a cool deck that's going to be coming out of it.
Alright, Drew.
Which card? Klinklang?
Yep.
I think this is a really good card in Klinklang, obviously.
Go figure.
Just to be able to, any game you could be like, oh, my opponent's playing EXs, I'll just get on my metal Pokemon and see if you could stop me. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure there's enough good non-EX attackers, so it would definitely draw out some games. I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay, Ben?
Yeah, this card's pretty good. It's a Sigilif that you don't need to have active, and it just makes your guys immune in a Klinklang deck where you're already playing Klinks and Klangs, so it fits together perfect like gears, man.
Good one. Yeah, like Pram was saying, you really can't run it as a normal Klinklang deck because it only protects your metal Pokemon, so you'd have to kind of rebuild the way you did it. But I'm sure it'll be played. That ability is ridiculously good. Just be a matter of finding what Pokemon to put with it. And go figure, next is Cobalion EX. A lot of people have been talking about this card just probably because of the Plasma Klinklang. It's really not overwhelming at all. For 1 metal, it does 30. You discard a special energy attached to the defending Pokemon. For 2 metal and a colorless, does 100, and then you ignore all weakness, resistance, and other effects. So you would go through Eviolite, but 100 damage straight for 3. Is this card actually that good? We'll start with Drew.
No, it is not good.
Okay. Ben?
The first attack does not enough damage, and the second attack, it's okay.
Alright, Ben?
I think it's good in the Klinklang deck. It's an EX attacker. It's metal. It does 100 for 3. It's metal. The point being that it's metal. Another good card with the Klinklang deck is the Lucario because it can be metal too. And yeah, you can just send out Lucario versus a Darkrai that's taken 1 prize versus you, and just knock it out. So that's pretty good. But yeah, the Cobalion it's nice. It does 100 for 3, and it's metal.
What type is it?
It's metal.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes it pretty good then.
Yeah, it's playing.
Yeah. Alright, Pram?
It's metal.
Well, Cobalion EX is metal, so it works well with Klinklang. And it uses metal energies, so it all works well with the other Klinklang.
Oh, that's what that symbol is. I couldn't figure it out.
And it's a nice metal Pokemon.
What type is it?
I believe it's steel.
Yes.
Oh boy. Alright. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the #1 card played with Klinklang. And the normal Cobalion, I'm sure. We will see if this deck can do anything. These are going to be the main 2 cards that work together with it. Next up, we have Dragon Pokemon. There's one noteworthy one that is pretty darn good, actually. It's
White Kyurem.
Yes. Could have said Druddigon, but you went with White Kyurem. Alright, for 2 water, lightning, and a colorless, you do 200 damage. Discard 3 energy attached to Black Kyurem EX. Obviously, this pairs with Blastoise, where you can just keep raining down water energy. You only need 1 lightning to do 200 damage, which will knock out everything in the format, as long as there's not a safeguard ability on it. What do you guys think? Is this going to replace Keldeo in Blastoise decks, and is it worth replacing Keldeo in Blastoise decks? And we'll start with Pram.
I think it complements it well. It's not going to replace it. If anything, it's going to replace Mewtwo, I think.
Okay.
There's like the reason why you had to play Mewtwo in the first place was because you had to stack so many energies on your Keldeo that their Mewtwo knocked out your Keldeo. Then you had to knock out their Mewtwo. So you don't have to do that anymore with Black Kyurem. All you do is you just send it up. You put 4 energy on it, and then you discard 3 of them for a EX knockout. So I don't think there's any real point to run Mewtwo and Blastoise anymore. This is more of a, I'm just going to go aggro Black Kyurem, and then sometimes I'll attack with Keldeo. So.
All right. Ben?
I actually don't like the Kyurem like at all in the deck. I don't like having to discard the energies after I put them on. I certainly don't like having to play a lightning energy that I have to just like find, with the Black Kyurem. I'm not going to go ham and just play all Black Kyurems. That'd be like nuts. But the one of you might want to play it, or 2 of, or something like that. I just don't think it's worth it.
Okay. Andrew?
It's interesting. I think it's definitely pestable in your Blastoise deck. I don't like the Lightning Splash very much. To me, that's the downside of it. Otherwise, I think it's pretty good and easily power-upable over and over and over again. So, definitely some promise there.
Well, it's not like you have to discard the Lightning when you use it. Like, once you get it, you just sit there on it and just go, all right, 2 retrievers, or like 1 retrieval and then another energy. And then
Fisherman!
You just attack again.
I don't know, man. It just cramps the style. You have all these
We saw a lot of Blastoise decks using Sigilyph recently as the format progressed. They would run Psychic Energy, and it worked well for a lot of people. Jay Harding was one who used that to a lot of success. So we've seen people splash in different types already. Could work.
You
What
could.
do you got to say to that, Drew?
I hate you. You got me sick. I'm dying right now.
All right, fair enough. On this card, we'll see play, I'm pretty sure. And it's does 200 damage. Pretty sweet. All right, next. Call this Pokemon. Number 1, probably the most hyped Pokemon in the whole set.
Togekiss.
Lugia EX.
Oh.
Snorlax?
Togekiss is on the list, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It should be.
The
No, it
ability
shouldn't.
is Overflow. If your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack of this Pokemon, take 1 more prize. So, that's a Deoxys Legend that we saw a couple formats ago. Actually, last format. It was pretty good. Now we have it on Lugia EX. Plasma Gale does 120 for 4, and then you have to discard a Plasma Energy, otherwise it does nothing. So it's an easy way to take 2 prizes on something cheap, or if you can manage to knock out an EX with it, you take 3 prizes. Lugia EX, is it going to be good? And we'll start with Pram.
Initially, maybe not. You have to like find a build for it. I like it for next set, but for this one, it just doesn't do enough damage. If you get it out early though, like 2-shotting an EX for 3 prizes is still really good. So I think if you can keep your energies on the field, if you can constantly get them down. A big issue is you discard a plasma energy for the attack, so that forces you to run recycle.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think if you can get a good Lugia build out, it could be a good contender. Plus, it's always cool to like knock out a Squirtle and just take 2 prizes. That's always cool.
Yep. Drew?
Yeah, I like this. It has a lot of potential. I'm not sure if it'll live up to any hype it's gotten. But to me, the thing is just what Pram said, knocking out Squirtles or Stabilize or Electrics and getting 2 prizes. That's where the advantage would be, just because you could already one-hit KO those. I don't see you knocking out too many EX Pokemon with this thing.
I can see it, like 2 shots on...
You're discarding 2 Plasma Energy.
Yeah, but you're going on but you take 3 prizes. So if you
We'll
knock
see.
out, you still have enough plasma energy to actually win the game.
Hey man, Articuno, Scramble Switch, Lugia. There we go. That's the deck.
Like you could also just knock out 3 basic normal Pokemon. That's completely okay too.
Alright, Ben.
I like it a lot. I think it's pretty good with Scramble Switch. Like you can hit something and set it up for the 120 knockout, like, you know, and then just Scramble Switch. Hey, I got a Lugia. Here's a Plasma Energy. Bam, 3 prizes. It's pretty good.
And if you're gonna play Recycle, like Pram said, you could reuse the Scramble Switch.
Yeah, I don't think so about that.
Who knows?
You wouldn't use
All
Recycle?
right.
Really?
No, I got a flip for that.
So?
So,
Dude,
dude,
reusing it
Hammer.
with Colress machine.
you only have 4 Colress energy in your deck, right?
Yeah, but you can't Colress if the plasma energy's in your hand.
I know.
It puts it
Alright.
on the deck, and then you just
Yeah, you have to get it in the discard too.
that happens when you attack.
We will see
It's okay,
if
it just
Recycle
went over your head.
works.
I got it.
I'm not playing Recycle. It's terrible.
Recycle's not bad, man. 50%. You get a card back.
50% I get a card in my deck, not back in my hand.
Which makes it
Well, you get to
actually
reuse a
fine.
50%
No,
of the time
that's-
it works every time.
You guys are nut jobs.
Yep. Okay.
Well, Mike's a
next,
Mike's a nut job. He's crazy.
next colorless Pokemon we have is Togekiss. The ability is Bright Veil. As long as it's your active Pokemon, whenever your opponent plays an item card, it basically just does nothing. So, no catcher switching you out, no escape rope, no crushing hammer affecting it. Nothing to work on it. So obviously this would have to work with a card like Magnezone, where you would do damage and then switch into Togekiss, and then you'd have to retreat it back every turn. Is this ever going to be worth it to, avoid catcher?
I think
Anyone?
Gothitelle. Well, it's like I think Gothitelle is just better, but I don't think these like wall mechanics are going to be useful until like I've been looking at the other plasma set, and yeah, till then. So put it on the back burner.
All right. Yeah, that's probably going to... Gothitelle isn't really working, so why would this... Can we all
It's a
agree on that?
stage 2, so yeah, it's a stage 2 is why I don't like it.
Alright, fair enough. Next one we have Snorlax. The ability is Block. Your opponent's active Pokemon cannot retreat as long as Snorlax is active. Team Pack takes a massive 5 energy, but it is 30 times the number of Team Plasma Pokemon play. So potentially it could do 180 damage, which knock out every EX in the format. But again, 5 energy to attack. If Snorlax any good, it will start with Ben.
No, I'm gonna tell everybody it's not good, but I'm gonna play it myself because I really do think it's good. But no, I think the card's good. I actually like it. I think Block is potentially pretty neat. They have to use like a switch or something to get out of the active. Like if you catcher a Darkrai turn 1, and they need the Darkrai on the bench in order to use Dark Patch, well, looks like they're gonna have to dig for some cards to get out of there, if they even play the switches or whatever, which I'm sure they probably do. But the attack is very difficult to probably get off. But maybe with Colorless Machine and Double Colorless, you might be able to do it and it won't be that bad. Maybe it's really bad.
Alright. True.
Yeah.
I wish it cost 4 instead of 5, but I think it's that 5th
5.
energy.
When you see a 5 energy cost, it looks ugly.
See, I don't understand what their like balancing team does with these cards. Like, You have cards like that don't cost anything, and they do like ridiculous amounts of damage. And then you have cards like Snorlax, where you're just like, "Oh, this card would be really good. Why does it cost so much? I don't understand."
Yeah, whenever I see 5 energy for an attack cost, I always just think back to that Blaine's Moltres back in the day. That there were so many energy symbols that had to take up like 3 lines, and I can't look at something that costs 5 and think it's good. I don't know. So Snorlax, the cost a little too high, 100, and it's probably going to prevent it from being good.
Mm-hmm.
Last colorless Pokemon, last card of the set, we're going to look at Explode. Round 50 times the number of Pokemon that have round in play. Bad Deck Monday. Anyone else think it can leave Bad Deck Monday?
Well, sure. Actually, the first attack's really good. Destructive Sound.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's just an issue that these attacks cost so much energy on a stage 2.
I think if it were a plasma Pokemon, it would be like infinitely better. But it's not.
Oh, see, that's where the plasma badge comes in next set.
No, we're not
Yeah. I think if you like decks like this or Snorlax, you got to play Scramble Switch, and you just got to make sure you don't get knocked out before you use it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The worst part about
unfortunately,
this
Dark
is
Ride.
that. Oh, sorry. The worst part about this is that the lower stages don't have round, so it's only a cloud, and that is terrible. So unless you get into your stage 2, you can't really use round for a lot of damage. But at the same time, you only need 4 Pokemon in play with round. So a couple Weepy Toughs, just a matter of powering it up.
Yep.
Well, if we ever get that
Thanks,
Meloetta EX later on.
Yeah. Who knows? Alright, that wraps up the set. Before we move on, I just want to get you guys' opinion. Give me just the card name for the answer, no explanations. Go best card.
Did you say me?
I think so.
You said best card, and then he said.
I heard "buh" and "n", so just go with it.
All right, best card in the set. By itself is Scramble Switch.
Alright, Drew,
Hypnotoxic Laser.
Pram.
Colrus.
I'll also do Hypnotoxic Laser.
But you need the. You think it's the best card even if you don't have the gym?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most overhyped card. Let's do Ben again.
Overhyped card.
Yeah.
Colrus.
Alright, Drew.
Not sure if it was hype, but Bicycle.
Pram.
Hypnotoxic Laser.
I'll do Lugia.
Because
No explanations. But...
Well, let me give you a little explanation on the Hypnotoxic. The hype is so big for it that there's no way it could ever live up to that hype.
It's gonna exceed the hype.
Alright, and finally, coolest looking card. Ben, what do you think?
Coolest looking card.
Yeah.
Snorlax.
Drew?
Bravery.
Alright. Those look kind of cool.
Victory
Flying.
Peace.
It's flying through a thunderstorm. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, man.
I also like Team Plasma Grunt. The girl in the background looks kind of cute.
Oh my god. Alright. Mine's going to be Full Art Lugia EX. And alright. That wraps up our set review. Since the show has been going a lot longer than normal, We will be doing some questions, but we're going to not take all of them. We're going to speed through them a little bit. And yeah, that will finish off our show. So the first question we have is from Jacob Harpel. Do you think Hammer Time will still see play, or will all Darkrai decks lean towards the Laser Verbank variant? So is Hammer Time done? Is the Laser going to replace it? Or will Hammer stick around? We'll start with Pram.
Yeah, the Laser's going to replace this. It's just an issue of space, really. Ideally, you'd want to do both, but space just requires you to choose one or the other. So you have to go with Laser because it's just too good.
All right, Drew.
Yeah, I agree with Pram. You can't run both in the same deck. There might be still some Hammer Time versions, but I don't think you're going to see both ever.
And Ben.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Super Poison Sleep Beam is going to be better.
I would agree. All right, Dwayne Schoenberg asks, do you think Eels are still viable? And also, when's the next Behind the Cards? We'll see on the Behind the Cards, but do you guys think Eels can survive yet another format change? And we'll start with Ben.
No, I don't think so. I really don't like having to do all this setup when you have just big Pokemon and now they have Poison Laser Beam to shoot at you and just make you fall asleep and get poisoned and like stuff.
Okay. Drew?
I don't think Eels can die, man. Its back's been against the wall this whole format. Energy acceleration is too good, and we'll always see play.
And Pram.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Drew here. I think the energy acceleration is too good. Also, if Blastoise blows up like even more, and kind of like if Blastoise ends up shutting down Darkrai really bad, then Eels is just gonna be so good. So I like Eel if Blastoise does well.
I think the scariest part about playing an electric deck is just surviving turn one. Past that, it's still going to be good, but surviving turn one is going to be even tougher now. Let's see. Next question from, let's see. Alex Hill, question for the show. What is the most desirable EX or full art from Plasma Storm? So I guess what do you think is going to be the most expensive card out of this set?
Expensive? Ooh.
I guess that would be desirable. I would guess.
Golden Random Receiver or Shiny Blastoise?
All right, Drew.
Most expensive card?
I guess however you want to define most desirable.
Probably full art Lugia EX. I'd have to
Okay.
imagine.
And Ben.
Probably Shiny Blastoise, not close.
You guys are nuts. Shiny Charizard. It's always going to be worth the most. It's a Charizard, guys.
Blastoise is used in decks.
It's a Charizard. And it's got a
Yeah,
fighting
misprint.
energy misprint.
Yeah.
This is fight.
Oh, the misprint one's gonna be. Well, you have to wait to see if they ever correct that misprint. Because if they do,
Yeah.
then the Charizard is gonna be like so expensive.
Dude, shiny Charizard cards are always the most expensive cards. Like, Charizard EX is still like $100, and it doesn't make any sense, but it is.
Charizard EX?
Yeah.
I have never even heard of this card. You're telling me it's worth $100?
Yeah, look it up. It's worth a lot of money still. I don't know if it's still worth 100, but it's really hard to get.
I always think like shiny Charizard looks cool though. It does. Like a blue Charizard. That's cool.
All right.
People want these like Charizards, even though
Dude,
like
it's Charizard. It's like one of the most desired cards. Just,
who would want the
Pokemon cards
Charizard?
are synonymous with Charizard, okay?
Like, who would want the Charizard card over the Blastoise?
Collectors.
Collectors?
Yeah. Dude,
They don't think
collectors-
Blastoise is like even close.
They look at
Charizard is the king.
yeah.
This is.
It's okay. Yeah, it just went over your head. It's cool.
Oh my god! You don't have to be insulting. I'm gonna beat you up the next time I see you.
All right. From Josh Graham, can we get more Crimson Pooka commentary on matches? Sure, Crim
No.
is sick. It's tough to get 2 people doing commentary if it's not live, but we'll try to do it more often. Tim Lipkowski, thoughts on Ether? We've gone through that already. Lucas Moore, I know that Pooka creates a lot of online content, but how come we don't see very much from the other Top Cut members? I'd personally love to see some online battles from all of the Top Cut members. What do you guys got to say?
Partially I'm lazy. Partially, trust me, you don't want to see battles from me. I'm terrible. I'm a loser.
I don't like to do. I mean, like, rather, I don't play PTCGO that much. I guess I can just start recording games when I randomly do sessions and then like upload interesting ones.
And Drew?
I'm just too busy. Too important in real life, so sorry guys.
Alright, fair enough. Also, what are you guys' thoughts on Gardevoir-based decks after Proctor's success with it at Mississippi Valley Regionals? So if you guys didn't know, a Gardevoir Mewtwo Sigilift deck made top 8 at our regional championship in St. Louis. He came very close to making top 4, and he could have won the event, honestly, because he was going to face nothing but Blastoise the rest of the way, which was his best matchup. So do you think we'll see Gardevoir be played anymore?
I like the Gallade.
Okay, that's not a Gardevoir.
No, I mean, but it combos well with Gardevoir.
Yeah,
No.
double stage 2.
No.
But it's off the same evolution line. Like when you say double stage 2 off the same evolution line, it's kind of like it's not the same.
Yeah, but I guess the difference is if Galade's your attacker and you have to keep getting stage 2s out, it's a lot tougher. Whereas if you just have to get one Gardevoir out and then the rest
You can
are
run
basics,
Mewtwo also.
or
There's
one
no-
Blastoise out.
There's nothing stopping no Mewtwo's. Though I don't like the reason it was like such a good matchup was because Keldeo had to put so much energy on it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to happen as often anymore.
Okay.
Does Gardevoir stack or multiply?
No.
Okay, so it's just if you have one Gardevoir out, it's if you have 2 Gardevoirs out, it's the same as one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you don't want to see a Mewtwo with 4 energy for 1 Psychic. That would be broken.
Yeah.
Side drive for 1. Okay.
Oh my god.
Alright, from Robert Davies. Hey guys, first want to say that Potter and Pram are pure gentlemen in Virginia. They took a picture with my son and they were just nice to us Canadians all weekend. They're awesome dudes. And let's
Thank you.
see.
So
I
it's
have
cool
one
meeting you guys,
question and one ruling. Also, he says his son did get his invite after placing 3rd, so thanks for the pep talk. Good job, you guys. Alright. What were your thoughts on David's son's top 16 list without catchers? Everyone just figures that their opponent has 3 or 4 catchers, so they don't play any differently. They still have bench fear. Do you think this may become more popular with one-shot attack decks like Rayquaza, Keldeo, Black Kyurem? It's 4 spots you can put in your deck. He said you recorded his top 16 match, and now with the Verbeek Stadium, more and more decks are capable of an attack that can reach 180 damage, and those 4 spots can be very useful. So, would you ever consider not running catcher in your deck?
Well, you'll see the result of that pretty soon. Probably tonight, tomorrow. So
The result is he still got top 16, right?
yeah,
So that's pretty good.
it's okay.
I would definitely consider it. I don't know. I don't think I would actually end up doing it. I actually don't think it would be close for me to end up doing it. I think there's a lot of times where catching is really good. Yeah. I think with the emergence of like Blastoise being around, like there's always that Keldeo active, and you always want to attack Keldeo. So maybe catcher isn't that important in that matchup, like against Blastoise specifically. Other than that, I think it's huge, and even then, sometimes it's pretty huge versus Keldeo.
Alright, Drew?
I don't know why you would put yourself at a disadvantage on purpose by not playing like the best card in the format. So I would never even consider cutting catcher.
I mean,
I think you might... Sorry, go ahead.
you run into an issue in match play. Is the big deal.
Yeah.
because like
I was gonna say, like eventually people figure out you don't run catcher, and it just changes the dynamic of your matchup completely.
yeah, I mean like
You could
you
you
could
could just like screw with people the whole time. Like, oh, I just can't draw these stupid catchers. Like you just
The way tournaments work, it's like eventually word spreads like this dude isn't playing catchers, oh, and then you play against him and you're like, oh, you're the guy who doesn't play catchers, huh?
yeah. I mean, do you remember how fast like everyone found
I
out
think you
Prim
could-
didn't run communication?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he told people you didn't run communication. It was like, oh, they took them all out. If you just keep like saying like, oh, I can't draw these stupid catchers, I think
It's
you.
happened.
I think
it's
you can
happened
get
at
there.
Nationals too.
I mean, you have to get there with
Yeah.
some pretty gullible people.
Yeah,
It's
like
happened at
you.
Nationals too. Oscar Morales, he went undefeated in Swiss, and he won his top 128 match with no catchers because they got removed before the tournament. But then eventually he faced, I think it was Chris Murray, who was like, "Oh, you don't play catchers. I'm gonna build up a Terrakion and knock out your Darkrai." So eventually that comes back to bite you.
Maybe.
Props for being creative, I guess. And he has a ruling question. Cobalion EX's Steel Bullet, the second attack, and Giratina EX's Shred. Can these go through a metal Pokemon using Klinklang's ability from Plasma Storm? The answer is yes.
Yes.
You would go through everything. And he says he loves the show, so thank you, Rob. All right, Zach Carmichael. Are Stage 2s finally becoming a viable option, or will the introduction of Ether and Colress Machine on Plasma EXs, as well as the new Stage 2 lines being susceptible to early knockouts, cut that possibility short? So are Stage 2s finally viable again? Anyone?
I think they're kind of viable, yeah. Maybe not two Stage 2s, but one of them.
Okay. Anyone else?
They're viable as support Pokemon for the most part.
Yeah, I don't think these are attacking Stage 2 Pokemon. That doesn't work. They're just the support ones that work.
Mhm.
They sit on your bench when you get one out. So really, it's just the basic Pokemon doing all the work.
Hmm.
All right. Isaiah Middleton asked, when is the next Nuzlocke? Ben, are you going to do one next?
Yes, the plan is for me to do one next. And the plan is maybe this weekend, because I got a lot to do tomorrow. But Saturday and Sunday, I'm pretty much free. And I think I'm going to do Platinum. And the tentative date of start is Saturday.
Okay.
But don't expect it to last very long. I'm pretty bad, probably.
And I plan on streaming the Pokemon TCG for Game Boy next. So we'll see when that happens. All right. Anthony Castanello, where will the Top Cup be for spring regionals? There's Georgia, Utah, Vancouver, Massachusetts, and then in Madison, Wisconsin. I will be in Madison. Ben and Pram, where are you guys going?
Thinking about going to Madison because it's the cheapest to fly to.
Okay.
And Kyle can pick us up from the airport. We'll make him do that. We could drive to Foxborough, but I don't really like the idea of doing that just because it would cost so much in tolls. It would almost just be worth flying because I think it's only like 130 for us to fly, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Not sure yet. Check back later.
Krim will not be going. Danny and Drew, are you going to go to a spring regional?
I am not going to go to a regional.
Okay. So that's where we'll be, I guess. I'll be in Wisconsin for sure. All right. Austin Vance, do you think Blastoise will still be playable since it gets turn 1 easily? For example, Landorus, Tornadus, etc. can donk it. With the Hypnotoxic Laser and Verbank. Even a Landorus can knock out a Squirtle turn 1. A Mewtwo can knock out Squirtle. Tornadus, obviously. So, Do you think Blastoise will survive knowing how easy it is to knock out a Squirtle early on in the game? And he says this goes for all Stage 2 decks.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you go first, you're in pretty good shape. And if you go second, you just need to play down 2 basic Pokemon. And then you're, again, in pretty good shape. Black Kyurem is just really, really good. It'll swing things back so quickly.
Okay. Ben or Drew?
Blastoise is a very good deck. I wouldn't judge it by the ability to get. Sometimes you're gonna get donked. I don't know. I wouldn't judge it by that at all. It's just a good deck.
I think you have a little bit more to be worried about with the fact that you can get donked more easily now. But other than that, it's still a really good deck.
Yeah. I mean, it's more likely that you'll get knocked out early on, but
Yeah.
if you set up, you're still going to be just as strong, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got 1 or 2 more questions, and that'll wrap up our show. We have Andrew Tatum, who asked, who will be the best partner for Garbodor in the upcoming format? Or is there one anymore? So we saw Landorus and Mewtwo be the partner for Garbodor at Regionals. We've seen Darkrai be a partner for it. Is there any other option?
I'm sure there's. I mean, like, Garbodor is such a blank state. Let me try this again.
Start over.
Garbodor is such a open-ended card that you can really combo anything with it. It just, you just got to find a good combo with it. Like, the EXs are a clear one. Maybe there's another EX that goes with it too. Who knows? Or other cards. Not sure.
Anyone else?
I feel like Terrakion is always going to be the best card for it. Maybe.
Right.
I don't know. I don't like thinking about Garbodor.
The thing about Garbodor is the more straightforward decks become, the less useful it is, because it's only good against the decks with abilities that are complicated, mainly Blastoise. So the real problem it's going to have as the format progresses is it's not going to have room to run the laser at all if you have to run so many tools and a Garbodor line. So I think it can just be overpowered by the straightforward, just the Darkrai decks that run it, Landorus, Mewtwo decks that run it, and maybe Garbodor's time is up unless Blastoise ends up being.
Yeah. So unless Blastoise ends up being really good, Garbodor may be in trouble. But yeah.
Anything else to say about it? Nope.
Nope.
All right. Take one last question from Ethan Betson. How important do you think a solid understanding of probability is for being successful at the Pokemon TCG? I've brushed up on a lot of probabilistic math since trying my hand at the competitive side of the game, but sometimes my instinct speaks louder to me than my calculation. So which do you go by, feel or statistics when you're playing? It's an interesting question.
I like a mix of both. Just because, like, you just got to know when to just... You either have to hit it or you lose anyways. So, like, at that point, you just throw everything out the window and you just go for it. But, unfortunately, like... But most times you want to go with statistics.
Yeah. Ben?
I kind of agree with Mike. I don't like the way he worded it. I always go with 100% statistics because it just makes the most sense. It's going to give you the best chance to win. Now, I'm not going to play a card where, like, oh, I know that energy card is the top card of my deck. I'm playing my ether, and I need it right now. Like, I'm not going to, like, gamble like that. Like, just based on, like, oh, I got a good feeling it's there. Like, oh, there's a good chance of it being there. I'm going to play it. Now, sometimes you have to do what Mike said, which is abandon, like, your strategy or whatever and just go for something. But I think that comes down to probability, too. It's, like, you need to hit this turn to give the best odds of winning. Going for this particular strategy is going to give you the best chance to win, like statistically. It's kind of hard to know, like nobody really knows when you do that kind of thing what the percentages of that statistic are or how to calculate that. But you can kind of look at the situation and know, like, this is going to give me the best chance to win, and I kind of need to do this now. You don't want to be doing that kind of play very early in the game unless you absolutely have to, unless you're in an extremely dire situation. But for the most part, I go basically 100% like what's going to give me the best chance to win. I'm not going to make any like gutsy calls that I don't need to make.
All right, Drew, do you go by probability or feelings when you play?
I try to always make the right play. Yeah, and I would say when I reason out things, it's usually based on the odds of what I'm trying to do. Whatever I think is most likely going to occur is what I choose. So I guess that would be probability.
Okay, I'm pretty sure all of us have been in some situation where, you know, you have a tough decision to make. You can kind of go for something. You know, maybe I'll draw like my last double colorless if I play this Juniper. But if I miss it, then I'll have to discard some cards. Like I'll have to discard my last catcher. Situations like that, I'm sure we've all had plenty of those situations. But for me, it's just always I try to do what statistically makes sense. But there are situations where you can afford to take risks and situations where it's dumb to take risks. For example, if you go for something that you really didn't need to and then it ends up with you losing the game if you miss your risk, whereas you could have just played safely and you weren't necessarily going to lose. I see a lot of people doing those kind of things where they just unnecessarily go for a big play when they could have just been sitting back and been conservative and it would have been just fine. So I think that's just kind of what you have to watch out for. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes down to those situations where it's like, well, do I play Juniper or do I play Bianca here trying to draw the card I need? I mean, that is just kind of random. And I don't think you can ever really make the right decision. I know a lot of people like to, when they're in those situations, they like to, you know, just kind of like peek at what their top card was to see whether or not they would have gotten it. But, like, that's not a good guideline on whether or not you should have done it. Like, just because it worked that one time doesn't mean it was the right thing to do. So, overall, I would say go for statistics, but people are emotional. You know, when you're in the heat of the moment, you can definitely get caught up in that kind of stuff. And it's something you have to learn to control if you're going to be a good tournament player. Because more often than not, taking big risk is going to bite you. And I think that's something a lot of people have to learn in order to just be consistent tournament players. So, I don't know, it's a tough question to answer. And hopefully you can figure it out at some point. There's no easy answer. That was a pretty long rant. Anyone else have anything to say before we close out the show?
Let's roll it up.
On this topic?
Nope, that's pretty much. I think we all said our piece.
All right, so let's wrap it up then. Ben, go ahead.
Thanks for watching, guys. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
What?
What?
All right, Drew.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Follow me on Twitter. I'm the best tweeter around. Watch all our games from regionals. I think we're gonna get some more up there. Watch that Nuzlocke stuff that Kyle does. I don't know what it is, but you should watch it. Thanks for watching, guys.
And Pram.
Yeah, thanks for watching. You know, everyone who said again, still a little under weather, but everyone who came up to us and said hi at regionals, you know, appreciated. You know, come say hi to us again. Our regional videos from Virginia will be going up throughout the rest of the week. So look forward to that. And yeah, like watch Ben do his Nuzlocke challenge. And Oh yeah, changed my Twitter name. I thought it was the other one was a little bit wordy, so shortened it up a little bit. So,
Your actual name?
well, I mean, like it was just long. It was just like really long, so like shortened it up. If you think, yeah. So, thanks guys for watching.
All right, thank you everybody for watching. As always, we appreciate your support. We are going to try to be streaming more often. I've been doing that lately. I feel it's important. And there's going to be a little bit of downtime since we have a month before the next big tournament, which is States. So there's not going to be a whole lot we can do. Plasma Storm's going to come out soon, and I'll try to stream PTCGO when that comes out. But otherwise, we're just going to be doing random stuff in the meantime to try to keep you guys entertained. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Top Cut Pokemon. Follow us on Twitter at Top Cut Pokemon. And subscribe to us on YouTube. It's also Top Cut Pokemon. And until then, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.
See ya.
Peace out.